So with technology becoming more prevalent in home environments, we're seeing people playing online games, online shopping. People's customer data is being stored with these companies. We're seeing credit card information being stored with Amazon. We're seeing home addresses and telephone numbers being stored with Facebook, and I think it's becoming a really hot topic. How are these companies storing this information and keeping it safe? How are they protecting it from potential hackers?
So this is an issue because nowadays, like with the advent of the internet, and how everyone's just giving away their data to companies willy-nilly. So it's like whenever you sign up, it's pretty much standard that you give away your address, your email. And like this is concerning because you don't know, it's like what the company is doing with that information. You don't know if they're securing it properly.
This is a major issue because obviously the ramifications of leakage of that data. I mean, if credit card information gets leaked, people can potentially use this information to buy stuff with people's money. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, if you have people's phone numbers, if you have people's identity theft, all you need is personal information, and you could potentially ruin someone's life.
Poor security has made it easier to stalk people by simply uploading a photo to Twitter from your phone. With modern technology, it is now possible to find the exact time and location a photo is taken from a photo's metadata. Unfortunately, services like Twitter and Facebook do not automatically remove this information.
On Facebook, the default settings for all your information is already public, so that anyone can access your information if they have their own Facebook account and you're actually not their friend. So all they have to do is just log in and they can see all your information if you haven't already changed the privacy settings.
So a recent case would be, for example, LOL Security, which is a hacking group that infiltrated the PlayStation network and stole a huge amount of important customer data. And the reason this happened was basically because PlayStation, Sony weren't keeping this data very secure. They were storing it in plain text, and they could have done a lot more to stop this from happening.
The hacktivism group was able to hack an actual app developer who had, just by chance, on his desktop a comma-separated file of all the UDIDs, unique identifiers, of all the people who have downloaded his apps.
So UDIDs, they can be used to track users, they can be used to send them push notifications, they can be used to disable their phone completely. So it's really important that UDIDs remain private.
At the moment, companies who do not take security seriously enough can only be sued by customers, but not breaking any laws. The current laws needs to be changed so that companies with poor security practices can be prosecuted by the criminal justice system.
Well, a company should be made viable and responsible for these issues that arise with private information being shared on the internet, as it is their fault.
So a solution to this problem could definitely be, increased government regulations.
The government will regulate this by setting minimum security requirements. These would include encrypting all sensitive user data, maintaining physical separation between publicly available networks and internal ones, as well as having a sensible user privileges system in place internally.
We should be seeing these companies have to stand trial.
For example, if the only data breach was what the bands a customer likes, then the fine should be relatively small. While credit card and medical information leaks would attract a much greater penalty.
There needs to be laws in place which say, okay, you were negligent in handling your users' data, you need to be ultimately responsible for what's happened to it.
It's like if you get your car stolen. If you leave the keys in the car, you should be held somewhat responsible. And it's the same for companies. They're leaving the keys in the car.
So another solution is definitely education. I think the average person isn't aware of what can happen to their data and how easily this can happen. And when they're making decisions online, you're seeing people uploading credit card information. Even for example on Facebook, people are just putting their mobile phone numbers, their address, because they don't realise how easily this can be leaked and what can happen.
So it should be made like a standard part of the curriculum, just learning about security, so that when the next generation goes out into the workforce, they actually think about these issues, and hopefully it prevents it from happening again in the future.
They should be making students and kids more aware that if they upload something to Facebook, it can be tracked.
if you've got a whole new breed of workers who are more educated just in general about online security, more aware of what can happen, how easily it can happen, then definitely I think that would increase security of the organizations as well.